It just felt crazy to be in the climbing gym again, to be putting a harness on after so many years. Hello my friends, Happy New Year. I hope that you had a wonderful Christmas. As I've been spending a lot of time reflecting on this past year, 2022, I feel really grateful for all the progress and the healing that I have seen over the last year, and it's crazy to me to think that I started out the year still needing to use my wheelchair for distances, and at the end of the year I was cross-country skiing and, like you probably saw in the title of this video, rock climbing. If you've been around for a while, you probably know that before I got sick, my passion was rock climbing. I was a rock climbing coach, and climbing was a huge part of my life, and I've missed it so much over these last years. And actually in the last year and a half or so, I've really been on the upward trajectory in my recovery from chronic illness, and have seen so much progress, and been working really hard on strengthening my body and getting it to a point where I would be able to climb again. And actually I had lots of doctors tell me I wouldn't be able to climb again, and that it wasn't a possibility for me. And for a while there I was starting to question it and believe that myself, but over the last year to 2 years I have had a really big mindset shift in how I view chronic illness, and I believe that you can heal from chronic illness. I believe recovery is possible, even though it's hard and it takes a long time. I wholeheartedly believe it, even with conditions like EDS or autoimmune disorders where you're told there's no cure or it's genetic and you just have to manage the symptoms. I'm sharing my journey to recovery because I know that there are a lot of people out there in a similar situation, and if I can bring any sort of hope or encouragement to people going through something similar, then that will be very worth it. But anyways, I am excited to share with you how rock climbing for the first time went. My husband Jake actually had some parameters, some strength requirements for me that he sort of set where I could climb again, and of course it was always up to me, but I was really glad that he helped me set those goals for where I needed to get strength wise to start climbing again, because I think if I had started earlier, then it could have been something that could have set back my healing. And so I've been working really hard over this last year, just strengthening my body from a really small place, starting very, very small to where it felt easy, just very slowly progressing. Jake's rule for me was actually that I had to be able to do a pull-up with half of my body weight and have it not feel like it was straining my neck or my spine at all. So when I was going to Caring Medical after I finished my prolotherapy treatments, I asked their chiropractor what his advice would be for me as I tried to get back to a point where I could climb again, and he recommended that I go to the gym and use one of those pull-up machines and basically take all of my body weight off except for 10 pounds and just do tons of reps just that way and continue to build my strength up. And so that's what I did. I started with taking almost all my body weight up, and I did that for 3 or 4 months. And prior to that I was doing resistance bands, sort of gentle stuff. Started in a seating position, and then when I could stand, I started to stand and do those exercises. And I got to a point where I felt comfortable doing the sets of pull-ups with half of my body weight being taken off. And so this wasn't a max strength sort of thing. It was this feels comfortable, and this feels like I'm not straining, and it's not at all hurting my neck or my spine. And so I've been working on also strengthening my neck and my spine along the way as well, and just getting used to these different sort of movements that I haven't done in so many years. So when I got to that point, we went to our local climbing gym and we did what's called a top rope. So that's where you wear a harness and you have a belayer, and if you fall, then you just basically fall right where you are. As long as the belayer is keeping the rope tight, then you really don't have much of a fall at all. And so when I was climbing before I got sick, my main type of climbing was called bouldering, and that was where you climbed typically like 15 feet or under and you fell onto crash pads. That is not how I'm starting climbing again. It's just my body isn't ready to like take that impact from falls like that. I am starting to really believe that I will get to that point, and I'm excited for that, but that's not where I'm starting with my climbing. So I went to the gym, and I'll put a video of the first time I went climbing right here so you guys can watch, but basically it just felt crazy to be in the climbing gym again, to be putting a harness on after so many years, and yeah, it went well. I felt like strength-wise my body was able to do an easy climb, but as I was climbing I felt like I was in a totally different body. Like the last time I was climbing I was a lot stronger. Overall I was just really excited and grateful to be there, and all the things like the smell of the climbing gym and the feeling of wearing a harness and the feeling of being up high but being safe, and all those things were very familiar to me, and I just had a good time. It was good. But I definitely would be lying if I said it didn't come with some hard moments too. And I think with doing DNRS and the brain retraining, obviously I haven't been sharing a lot of the hard side of things, but I don't want to paint the picture that healing is easy, because it isn't. It's hard. Anyways, so while I was climbing, honestly the hardest part about it for me was how tight the shoes were. If you're not familiar with rock climbing, typically like the longer you climb and the more serious you are about it, the smaller you try to get your shoes. So I was putting on my old climbing shoes where I was like doing some higher level climbing in it, and I was putting on these teeny tiny rock climbing shoes to go do this super easy climb. And I was like, oh my gosh, my feet are literally going numb, and my feet are just not used to being in a climbing shoe anymore. And so just that feeling was really strange. And I think there's like something very humbling about the last time being at the climbing gym. Like I was one of the stronger climbers there, and this time I was probably like the worst climber there. And so it's just, you know, I'm excited for the chance that I have to get stronger again, and I'm just trying to focus on that. I'm trying to focus on what a blessing it is to be able to be physically active again, to be able to start climbing again. It's like having a completely fresh start to something that you have missed for so long. And so overall it's a good thing, it's a positive thing, and I just enjoyed it. I've been one other time since. I think we're going to go back to the gym again today, so that would be a third time, and I'm just at this point just getting used to the movement again and getting comfortable being up high on the wall on a rope. I know that I'm safe, but it's just something that has been so long that I've done that I don't feel like completely comfortable up there yet, but I'm just looking forward to getting physically stronger. And that's just something I've always loved, even pre-illness, is just being able to do something that I couldn't before. And that's what this past year has really been full of, those sorts of victories, and it's been a really good year, and I'm grateful. And yeah, I thought there was probably like a 95% chance that I would cry when going climbing for the first time at the gym, but I didn't. Once we got in the car afterwards, a song on this playlist I had going came on called Scars by I Am They. It's a Christian song, And the words in the song say, "I'm thankful for the scars because without them I wouldn't know your heart." And just listening to the words of that song, I highly recommend listening to it, by the way, but listening to the words of that song, I just started crying my eyes out. Like, I couldn't contain it. And that song was a song that really got me through some of my hardest moments of chronic illness, and to listen to that song and have it just take on a completely new meaning was really, it was a special thing. And for me, one of the most difficult parts about my journey really was my craniocervical fusion surgery. I think some of you guys probably could guess that, but the fact that I will always have that fusion, that I'll always have the, you know, the limited range of movement, and the fact that that will affect me forever has been a really hard thing for me. And it's been a hard thing to talk about, it's been a hard thing to think about, and hearing that song, it was like, it was a confirmation that God took me through that for a reason, and I went through that for a purpose. And hearing that just gave me a lot of comfort. And yeah, I'm grateful for the miracles that I have seen, and just such a good year last year. And anyways, I just wanted to share that positive update with you guys, and share that victory with you. I really appreciate all of your encouraging and kind comments, and please just know that whatever you're going through, whatever point you are in your own healing journey, that I am rooting for you always. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. I have a lot of new videos coming out hopefully soon, and I will look forward to seeing you guys again next time.